This episode's brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is absolutely the best place to play fantasy sports, including best ball, daily drafts, and pick'em. Start drafting in minutes for a shot at big cash. Sign up and make sure to use the promo code DNA, and as a first-time depositor, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100 with the DNA promo code. So what are you waiting for? Join Underdog Fantasy. Trust me, it's in our DNA. And now, on to the newest episode of Dynasty DNA. I hope you enjoy it.
Welcome to the Dynasty DNA Fantasy Football Podcast, where we talk Dynasty Fantasy Football, fantasy rankings, and everything NFL. Join us and dominate your Dynasty League. It's in your DNA. And here's your host, TJ Blake.
Welcome back, DNA Strand Crew. Yes, I'm the host of the Dynasty DNA Fantasy Football Podcast, TJ Blake. You can find me on Twitter at FFTJBlakeDNA. And as always, we're joined by our show architect and co-host, the A-Train, Andy Blake. You can find him on Twitter at FFATrainDNA. How are you today, Ann?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. And next up, we got the producer, co-host, Ty Blake. You can find him on Twitter at DynastyDNA. Ty, how you doing today, Ty?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Pretty good. Last but not least, it's the guy that ducked out on Fantasy Feud last night. Ty said he was afraid. Muscles Ryan Mail. You can find him on Twitter at DynastyDNA. Muss, you know, we had them topics really labeled for you. Ty said you were afraid. That's why you didn't show up.
Lots of Javante.
There, he was in there. Jerry Jeudy was in there.
Jerry Jeudy. Nice. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
What was the Jerry Jeudy topic?
It was either Jerry Jeudy or Hollywood Brown. Who do you have more faith in going into next season?
Oh, probably Hollywood, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. I stuck up for you and said Jerry Jeudy just because you weren't here. So
yeah, I mean, I could see Jerry Jeudy going somewhere in a breath of fresh air. To be honest, I'm trying to buy him everywhere.
Yeah, I know you are. You practice what you preach. I see you did buy him for a third.
I've sent offers in every league. I haven't got. Unfortunately, I hate when you send them out and nobody counters or nothing.
Right,
but
yeah. We're kind of in that dead time yet. Once the season ends, people will be more active.
Yeah.
But man, a bunch of crazy games going on over the weekend. The NFL divisional round. I mean, just want to touch base on those real quick. I mean, Green Bay had a couple games coming down to kickers this weekend. Unbelievable, man. Green Bay had a chance to take that game into overtime. They would have took the lead, but the kicker, Carlson, missed the field goal.
He's horrible.
He is.
Yeah. He is not good at all.
Did you see LaFleur said, like, when he goes out there, he just prays? LaFleur's like, when I send him out there, I just say a prayer.
Must have prayed to the wrong God.
I was like, how do you have a kicker? And then you just say that.
Yeah, talk about messing.
I thought you meant like that Carlson goes out and prays. It's like, well, he must have prayed to his wrong God then because it didn't happen.
No, LaFleur said when Carlson goes out there, LaFleur just says a prayer, he said.
How can he do that? Like,
yeah, he just completely threw that kicker under the bus. Like,
there was one kicker that was kicked out of college. I cannot think of his name. I believe he's kicked out of college. He does a lot of trick kicks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name, but like, why don't they even give him a shot? Like,
right.
Okay, just didn't do it by the books like everybody else.
Yeah, I don't want to say kicking a field goal is easy because it's definitely not. But like, I feel like there's a lot of people that can kick a field goal.
Yeah,
like you kind of know what I mean. Like
that's
like
why I love
like ex soccer players, his
buddy Kyle. I mean, he kicked a 50-yarder. I mean, of course, nobody was going at him,
right? But even like a punter, like just get somebody that can, like most of the time they have like steel toes and like not steel toe, but like shit in their cleat thing. I think too. So it's like all you got to do is just kick a ball. Like I don't want to say it's hard, but.
Who's the one that kicked without a shoe?
We got to field rep the road. We'll trot you out and we'll see if you can kick an extra point. I'm not saying I can.
I'm not saying I can, but like of all the positions to fill, I feel like it's like, I don't want to say the easiest, but.
Who was the one that kicked without a shoe?
That was that Tom Dempsey, I think, wasn't it?
I cannot remember. I thought it was for the Rams.
I remember that.
And I can't think. It wasn't Vanderjack was with
Colts.
The Colts.
Yeah, I remember that kicker, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was.
I can see him, but I just cannot put a name to him. So
I remember that one shoe.
If you guys are listening and you know the name, put it in Discord or something because I cannot think of it.
Yeah.
I could look it up, but.
Yeah.
Let it be a surprise.
Well, of course, ruined Jordan Love's chances to go to the NFC Championship game. Carlson did.
He did look really good.
Yeah, he did until
a couple picks were shit though.
Yeah, at the end he's getting a little Brett Favre in him, a little gunslingerish mentality.
trying to be a hero.
You need to do that a little bit.
Yeah, you got to play a hero ball.
In the rain. The rain didn't help. But San Francisco advances to the NFC Championship game. Kind of not surprised. We expected this, but Green Bay did put up a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
So we'll see what San Fran does. And then on the other side of the NFC ledger, MCDC, Dan Campbell and the boys getting it done.
Yeah.
Beating Tampa Bay. He's taking the Lions to the NFC Championship game.
How about Tampa Bay? Everybody wrote them off, man.
Yeah.
And it was a damn close game.
Yeah, it was.
Like at the beginning, it was tied at halftime. I mean, it was a good game.
Yeah, and Baker threw a pick to seal it too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
But hey, no, that's what I said, like, during the Fantasy Feud show. I was on there last night with Ty. I give credit even to Todd Bowles because that team wasn't even supposed to be there. And Baker, I mean, give him credit too. I mean, he kind of revived his career a little bit. And, hey, he had a chance, man, would drive away from possibly taking him, so.
And I believe, isn't their coordinator Dave Canals? I believe he's with Seattle.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll be somebody that's looking for a head coaching job here as well. I mean, done a tremendous job.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were upset, no Leftwich and everything, and just kind of wrote them off with no Brady as well. So,
yeah,
great job by these guys. I mean, hell of a season.
I didn't want to see either team lose that game.
No.
Yeah, I know. That was one for me.
Yeah, I like both teams.
Yeah, because I was Baker, that's a heck of a story there.
Yeah, I think I would lean Detroit just because they've never won. They've never won.
Right.
Like, it would be nice. And, we got a league that we play in with them guys, that are big Lions fans. So happy for them guys as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then you go to the AFC. The Ravens dismantled the Texans in the second half. Now, this game was close in the first half, but it seemed like, the Texans showed their age. Baltimore kind of going on their horse a little bit, especially their defense really shut down the Texans' offense.
And they just could not stop the run. I mean, Lamar had 100 yards. I think Lamar is pretty much everything was sealed up MVP.
Yeah.
He's going to be your MVP. But
yeah, and then you go into wide right number 2.
Yeah.
Last night, Buffalo, your heart breaks for the Buffalo fans. I seen a guy had a list of all the tragedies that's happened to Buffalo in the last 30 years. It's unreal, man. I mean, they had it right there, but Josh Allen's Patrick Mahomes has his number.
Yeah, it's like in that final drive, I did watch that. I don't know why, but like it was like third down. He went to the end zone.
Yeah.
Fourth down, went to the end zone. It's like, just get a first down.
Right.
Yeah, because you have the clock on your side.
You had the clock on your side, and I was like, yep. I mean, this is it.
Will Josh Allen ever win a Super Bowl here in Buffalo? I think that's a big question. I think for Lamar and him, I mean, they both, let's just be honest, have great careers so far. They really could use that on their resume. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think Josh Allen he should be a Hall of Famer whenever his time comes. Obviously, it's, ways down the road, but it's nice to have that in your back pocket to put on your resume to get in there.
Yeah, I think this goes back to like what you said at draft time. They just need another weapon. I mean, Shakur looked good.
Yeah.
But like if you shut down Diggs.
Yeah. And Diggs just isn't looking good.
No.
He's missing balls.
No. And Kincaid's good, but I felt like Dawson Knox was serviceable.
Yeah.
Like if you could have Diggs and JSN, you said that at draft time, it's like that might have been a different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or even a one out and signed Hopkins. Like, if you if you want to draft Kincaid, then bring in Hopkins.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, that's nothing against Shakur. Like Shakur looked good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Hopkins was basically free.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Nobody wanted him, but I guess Tennessee.
and now Buffalo has a hell of a cap problem.
Mm-hmm.
I seen that too. So this team look way different next year. So we'll see what happens. But that's what we got. We got the Chiefs and we got the Ravens in the AFC title game. And we got the Lions and, of course, the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC title game. We'll pick our winners at the end of the show. Got a little bit of a teaser there. See what everyone thinks. So but we're going to hop in today. We're going to be doing a episode called Quarterback Safe or Not Safe. We're going to go around the league. We're going to look at some of these quarterbacks, and we're going to go on a scale of 1 to 5 on how we feel how safe they are as a starter or having a starting opportunity next year in the league, and especially even with their own teams. I mean, there's a lot to talk about here. And one's definitely not safe. 5's completely safe. 3 somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to be interested to see what everyone thinks of these guys. I mean, this is hey, in Superflex leagues, this is the position that makes your league go round. So, I mean, there's a lot of questions to be answered here, and there's a lot of guys that it's going to be fun to talk about. And where do they end up? Do they stay with their current team? Do they get a chance as a starter again next year? So, but before we hop into that, I always bring it up, the Dynasty DNA Discord channel. This thing's cruising, man. It's almost up to 140 members. It's active all the time. We talk about the games while the games are going on. We talk trades, player values. It's just a great place if you love fantasy football. It's absolutely free. Go over our Twitter at DynastyDNA_, and it's right in the description right at the top. You click that link, you can hop right in. We'd love to have you. There's a lot of great people there. You have access to me, Andy, Ty, Muss, Jimmy, Sterling, Big E from the Double Coverage DFS show, a lot of other great guys as well. You got to get over there and join, man. It's just fun to talk to a lot of people about football, and it's awesome to make new friends. So if you have an opportunity, get over there and do that. But we're going to hop in first and foremost with this quarterback safe and not safe. And we're going to start right at the top, man. When you start a show like this, you got to go right to the top of someone that is right at the top of everyone's list. What's going to happen in Chicago? The very first guy I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to go around the table and I'm going to get everyone's feelings on, it's going to be Justin Fields. And I'm going to start with you. Safe or not safe, Justin Fields, scale 1 to 5, where are you at?
As long as staying in Chicago and we're going to keep it with the team, I'd put it at about a 2.
Yeah.
I don't think he's very safe at all. There's been reports that Cliff Kingsbury could come in and be the offensive coordinator. And if that happens, USC coach, quarterbacks coach. So could be, Caleb Williams side if that does happen. But then on the other side, they also brought in ex-Ravens offensive coordinator, and I'm
Greg Roman.
So didn't hire him either. So we'll see what happens. Maybe that will lean a little bit more towards keeping Fields. I don't even think Chicago knows what they're doing yet.
No,
I don't.
I really don't. And to sit here and say, but I had a lot of good stats, and I know TJ did as well, and Tip. So if you go back to that show, you can listen to some of the stats I brought up about Justin Fields. But I don't think he's very safe, though, man. I'd put it around a 2. Now, could he be traded? Could he go to somewhere else? Absolutely. I definitely think he deserves to be a starting 32 quarterback in the league. Like, he's very well deserving of a job, but of somebody that's trying to kind of turn a corner and win, I just don't think he's going to be in Chicago. I don't think he should be.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I'm like you. I'd say 2 is a pretty solid number for me, too, in Chicago. I just think that it's going to be hard for them to pass on Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing, man. We know what they got for Bryce Young. They got to at least get that, at least. And, I mean, if you don't, I mean, to me, I think you got to get more.
Yeah.
I mean, you know who this guy is, Caleb Williams. You know what kind of a prospect he is. He's a hell of a lot more hyped up than Bryce Young was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on them now. I mean, who's to say? I think that's the key here. When you go back to saying, like, they don't know what they're doing yet, I think that's because if they get that blow you away offer,
they'll do it.
They'll do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they're just waiting to see. But, yeah, I'm like you. I don't know where he ends up, but I think he gets a job somewhere. Atlanta's probably somewhere in play, possibly New England. As much as I hate to say it, the Steelers, they could do something stupid like that too. So
and Poles is under a lot of pressure here because they had the first pick. They could have took CJ Stroud, and look what he's done this year. Mm-hmm. You don't want to trade too far down because you could lose out on Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors. I mean, that could be a real big help to this offense. So if you were to trade it, so you're kind of only dealing with a certain amount of people. You don't think they know that as well,
right?
Like, they're not stupid. So, I mean, that makes it real tough. And if you roll out with Justin Fields again and your season's horrible, then you're probably fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then if you do draft Caleb Williams and he's bad, the coach is probably fired. So,
yeah.
What do you want to do? Save your own job or save your coach's job? I'd rather save my own job personally.
Right.
Yeah. You're banking your whole future on Justin Fields.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing. Ty, how do you feel about Justin Fields? A scale of 1 to 5. How safe is he in Chicago?
I'd probably say 1. I think Chicago needs to move on. Obviously, they'd never had a quarterback ever. I mean, now they finally get a chance to take a generational talent of a player at that position, and really, they're not even a bad football team. Down the stretch there, they were winning a lot of games. Their defense is pretty good. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they're a bunch of scrubs by any means. DJ Moore's there, so they do got at least and Cole Kmet. So they got a couple serviceable weapons. They just need that quarterback. I mean, look, we've seen how far C.J. Stroud took the Texans. I mean, that's what you need in this league anymore. Defense don't win championships anymore. It's all about your offense. And again, I mean, I think the Texans won 3 games last year, and look how far they went this year just by C.J. Stroud. I mean, it's a big difference. So I think they're going to go Caleb Williams because the quarterback position is obviously the most important position on the field, and that's what they need. Also, the Bears have hired their offensive coordinator just half an hour ago.
Oh, really?
Shane Waldron.
Oh, okay.
He spent the past 3 seasons as Seattle's offensive coordinator. So,
coming out of left field.
Yeah, I didn't even see
breaking news. I appreciate you saying that, Ty. That's really important stuff to see. But yeah, I mean, I'm like you though. I like going back to what you said on the Fantasy Feud, Ty. The Bears have not had a good quarterback. Jay Cutler has been their best quarterback in the history of their organization. That's why it would be hard to pass up on this guy. I mean, Caleb Williams. Now, Moss, how do you feel? I know you're the sycophant here. Maybe there's a chance that you think there's a little bit better of a chance that he stays. I mean, are you a little higher than 2, or are you around where we're at?
Yeah, I'm around there, probably like a 3, just because I don't think they know what they're doing. I think, like you guys said, I think they're going to sit around and wait for offers. Like, I mean, are they going to get a first-round pick for Justin Fields? You know,
it's possible.
Right. It's possible. Are they going to get a package like they did for Bryce Young's pick? Possible, or more, possible. Or maybe they don't get any offers and they just, then they have to take it. So
maybe Carolina will offer their 27, 28, 29.
Yeah, I think honestly, I don't even think they know what they're doing. I think they're going to sit here and wait and see what offers roll in.
Yeah,
because I mean, as far as Justin Fields goes, I would like to see him in a competent offense with a competent offensive coordinator, and with decent weapons.
Do you guys feel like a change of scenery for Justin Fields would be better from a fantasy perspective than what we've seen with the Bears?
I think from a fantasy aspect, like, he's okay. My big worry is him being able to hold the job because he can't win games.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, like, I mean, he's an amazing athlete. He can run the ball. Throwing, like I said, not so well. I mean, it just hasn't went well whenever you're passing for under 200 yards a game, one under 100.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just not good numbers, and it's not gonna, keep you a job in the NFL. It seems like NFL franchises, like, okay, so what Green Bay did with Jordan Love's very rare. You don't see that much, like people holding on to a guy, playing, not playing him for a couple years, and then putting him out there. Now Jordan Love's been very good. Maybe people start doing that, but are some of these guys ruined? Like, when you take Kenny Pickett and you just throw him out there and his line sucks, his receivers one was hurt, and George Pickens is pretty young, and then you get drop balls and you're getting smacked around. He could be ruined. So, like, you got to tread lightly, with some of these guys. But thing is we've seen how many coaches fired, this year. What, 8? I think it was like 8.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So coaches don't really want to do that because they don't want to lose games. The good thing for Jordan Love is he had Aaron Rodgers in front of him, who's a Hall of Famer, who's still winning games and could show him a little bit of the ropes and yet still win games. Just be patient. So it's kind of a weird situation.
Yeah.
So with Justin Fields, a lot of his throwing problems, reading defenses and things like that, could they be fixed? Yeah. Could all of them be fixed, though? It's going to take a lot of work. I mean, he's already been in the league 3 years.
I'll tell you, though, the way the Packers did it should be the blueprint for other teams.
Yeah.
Because, like, even the Steelers, we waited too long with Ben. Like,
Yep.
you wait until he's completely done, and you're in full panic mode, then you have to take a quarterback.
Yep.
So I think the Packers really found something out, and I think more teams need to replicate that.
I agree 100% because you see it year after year. They just keep turning it over, and, it's looking really good. I mean, hell, like we said, they were 1 or 2 plays away from going to the NFC Championship game in his first year, Jordan Love. So, and it does benefit sitting behind a great veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. But Justin Fields, one last thing from a dynasty perspective right now, if you had him, were you holding on just trying to wait? Because if he goes somewhere, do you feel like, he's one of these names, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Do you think that maybe brings the hype up a little bit, his value up a little bit?
I'm kind of in the middle of it. If I could get a first, I'd be pretty happy about it. But if you think about it, if he does go somewhere else, there's going to be hype. So you're going to probably get more in a first. if they were to draft Marvin Harrison somehow, some way, or Malik Neighbors, there's going to be hype. Oh, he has DJ Moore and Marvin Harrison. He's going to be a stud.
Yep.
So you got to look at it from that angle. Maybe he is more of a hole, but if you did want to get out because you didn't even want to deal with it, I do think his stock's still down a little bit.
I do too. I don't really see a situation where his stock goes down from where it's at right now.
Right, because you kind of want to backfill that, right? Like you probably bet a lot on Justin Fields. So like, would you rather just have a shot at Jaden Daniels, or you're probably not? Could you somehow trade up and get Drake May? I mean, I don't know. It seems like Jaden Daniels might even be ahead of Drake May in some people's eyes. So, maybe try to wait, and could you get a shot at one of them? And would you rather take that shot?
Yeah, reset the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would. I think that's a good move.
I think I would too, depending where they go as well, too.
Right.
And we got to all break down film as well, but I don't think they'll be much worse.
No.
Or like a move I would love to make. Is there some way, like, could you get Anthony Richardson?
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, 100. I'd do that all day.
Would you give up Fields? I mean, if you were a late first or something, but even maybe another player that's decent but replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good move. And that's just it. And you got to realize when we talk, he's got one of these names. He's one of these guys that people still believe in, even after all the struggles.
Mm-hmm.
We see it with Kyle Pitts. There's different guys, that still got that hype machine. If you're playing in the right league with the right person, you could get maximum value.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider. But we're going to hop into the next quarterback here on the list. It's going to be, we talk about the number 1 pick. Let's talk about the number 2 pick here. Sam Howell with the Washington Commanders. I mean, this guy looked so good to start the season. Especially from a fantasy perspective, was throwing the ball all over the lot. I mean, but he did throw it like 60 times a game. This one's a little interesting, man, because I think this could go either way. But I'm going to start over here. I'll start with you on this one, Muss. Sam Howell here, safe in Washington, scale 1 to 5. Where are you at?
See, it's just tough because they got the number 2 overall pick. So it's like, where do they go? Honestly, with that new ownership group, new head coach, I honestly see them being one of the teams trying to trade up for Caleb Williams to try to make a splash. Because, I mean, that new head coach is going to want the best quarterback, probably. And like I said, that ownership group's going to want to make a splash.
So you're saying watch out for Washington for that number 1 pick.
That's what I think. Yeah. Now, if they stay at 2, they can still take a quarterback. But I mean, like Ty said, they could take Marvin Harrison Jr. So that one's really tough. I'd probably say about a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance they move on.
I think there is, but I mean, I don't think it's the right move, but I think it's a move that they make.
Yeah. All right. I like that. Ty, how do you feel about Sam Howell?
Yeah, he's probably one of the most challenging on the list because obviously we know the NFL is a tough business. I guess a lot of the players are lobbying for Sam Howell to be the guy, but I don't think they have much of a say. I think that's going to be down to the new owners and obviously the new head coach coming in. So I'm going to say just 3 for now. I'm on the fence. I mean, they'll probably will draft a quarterback, but I do hope they do stay with Howell, give him 1 more year, because if they suck next year, they'll have another top pick, and then you take your quarterback. But I don't know. They had so many more glaring needs, but I'm just gonna say 3. I could see either way.
Okay.
I can't really make a decision just yet.
Yeah, it's tough. And Musk talks about splashy. Marvin Harrison splashy too. And what do you think about Sam Howell?
He is. He's probably the most challenging one. I mean, I'm like you guys. I'd be fine with him staying, but Rivera's gone. It's kind of weird that they went to Brissett like that at the end too. But I honestly think Howell's just out of gas. I'm gonna put it at a 3 as well. I think there is probably a good chance, but yet, like if Marvin Harrison's that number 2 overall pick, I wouldn't be like, well, I'm real shocked.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it at a 3. I think it could go either way there.
Yeah, I think I'm at a 3 too. This one's tough, man. It is. I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, it could be a variety. And I kind of like what Ty said about Marvin Harrison. I don't rule that out. I mean, they could just say, you know what, we if we're bad again, we got one of the best receivers prospects ever.
Yeah.
Maybe we can reset the clock another year or 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you just got to protect these guys. That's the thing with Sam Howell. I mean, we've seen him get killed Well, I mean, that's the one bad thing. Now, from Sam Howell, from a dynasty aspect right now, you have him rostered. I mean, what are you doing? And I mean, if you're going to sell, what's the lowest that you would take?
I'm holding.
I'm holding 100%.
He's a hold.
I think he could easily still. Could he be moved during a draft? Do they just start him and not, like, if they were to go Drake May and just kind of let Drake May chill for a minute? And I don't know how much I would like that, because whenever you're that guy and they want to play the rookie, it just you don't have that feeling. Like, you're going to be replaced. So no matter what I do, I'm going to be replaced.
Right.
I mean, these could have been all career numbers for Howell because the defense was absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
So he was always gunslinging, trying to come back. But is there he was a 5th round pick? So is there an opportunity where he goes somewhere else for a 3rd round pick or something? I think he belongs in the 32. Like,
yeah, I do too.
I think he's a starter somewhere. You put him in Atlanta, put him, even with us. I mean, in Pittsburgh.
I'd love that.
Yeah, I would too.
I think that would be fine.
Yeah.
So and these guys don't get, like, I don't know. Sam Howell had good years at North Carolina. It just didn't really work out from a draft capital standpoint, So is there any place you guys would like to see him specific? I kind of like him in shotgun because he is a little bit smaller, maybe a West Coast type style team like the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders are actually pretty good. I kind of like that. That would be a solid one. Seattle, I think, could be solid depending on the coaching change.
Yeah.
Kind of offense they run.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm kind of like you. I mean, I'm kind of glad you're on the same page. I think you got to hold on here because you know this too. And unfortunately, there was a lot of people buying Sam Howell for 2 firsts.
Yeah.
During the season whenever he was tearing it up. And now, I mean, it's kind of going back to what we said about Justin Fields. He didn't win enough games. He put himself in jeopardy. And we'll see what happens. But I'm hoping – I don't know, though. I'd like to still see one more year even with Washington. If they do draft Marvin Harrison, this could be a nice rebound chance for him if they get the offensive line addressed too.
Yeah.
And they got to bring in the right coach.
Now, would you buy him for a second?
Oh, I would.
As a quarterback and super flex, I mean, if I'm a good enough team, if my second's mid to lower, I definitely would. Because you know why? Because, I mean, we know that quarterbacks are hard to come by. We see it, like, if you have a Kirk Cousins, he goes down. That's kind of sucky for you if you're a contending team. I mean, if you have him as your quarterback 3 sitting there and you pay that price, okay. Because we've seen it with even guys like, I mean, now Baker got better capital, but look how many chances he's gotten. So
I almost feel like he's a move where I would like to trade. I mean, if I was like kind of a middle of the road team, could you move like Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins, like guys that'll probably put up big numbers, but how long are they going to be around?
Yeah.
Like Kirk's probably going to miss the beginning of the season. Rodgers just coming off this ACL tear. Is he ever, or not Achilles tear, not ACL, but will he ever be the same?
yeah,
I mean, we're kind of betting on these a little bit older guys with these big injuries. So maybe I'd feel a little bit better going that route. Would you trade Derek Carr? Like, are you just out on Derek Carr?
Oh, yeah.
I would trade Derek Carr.
Yeah. So like, are them maybe some savvy moves where you could kind of reset the clock and then he goes somewhere else. See, it's hard to trade a second to me because I am a little bit intrigued with, like, I need to break down Penix, but like if Penix goes to a good place and he's like a 3rd round pick, I mean, I'm a little bit intrigued by that.
Right.
And there's going to be some running backs that I think people are just like, running back class sucks. Like, I don't think there's any like breakout, obviously, like Bijan Robinsons or anything, but like
There could be
there's
some
value
Roschons
guys
or something like that.
yeah, there's some Roschons, and if they get the opportunity, could they hit?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got some guys like that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, and I kind of like them moves. I mean, and that's being smart. If you can flip players like that for him. And, I hope he does go to a good landing spot. I kind of like that Raiders. That's kind of one to watch because they need something. I mean, Aiden O'Connell, he did okay for him, but he's definitely not the answer.
No.
So we'll see what happens with Sam Howell. But I was excited to talk about him because he was one of the toughest ones on this list.
Yeah, he is tough.
But now we're going to cruise over to the West Coast. We just talked about this team, and we're going to talk about their quarterback now. It's going to be Geno Smith. They signed him into this decent little deal. Now Pete Carroll's out the door. Underachieved, didn't make the playoffs compared to where they were last year. Geno kind of regressed. We all said that we were expecting this. We're not surprised in the least. But I'm going to start with you on this one, Ty. Geno Smith in Seattle, safe or not safe, scale 1 to 5 right now, heading into next season.
Isn't he still on the big contract?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think he's safe because, I mean, where else are they really going to go? I'd probably say a 4. I mean, they're not really high enough to take a quarterback. And I mean, Geno Smith's already on this deal. I mean, I don't really know if there's like a way you can kind of get rid of him.
Get out of it.
Yeah, I highly doubt that. So I think they're pretty much tied with him. Now, I think this is the last year of his deal. I think it was like a 2-year contract.
It was 2 or 3.
Yeah, so if this is the last year of his deal, they're just going to roll with him this year going in. But after this year, no. But going into this year, I think I don't think they have any other choice. I think they got to go with him.
Yeah.
They could get out for $17.4 million, a dead cap. I think I'd keep him around for that, but is he going to be the starter?
Yeah. I mean, will they make a move like for Sam Howell?
Yeah, that's what I'd do.
Yeah, I mean, would they that it could be possible if someone's available? Will they try Justin Fields' experiment? It's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. And how do you feel about Geno? Because I mean, like Ty said, he does have this contract. They are picking, kind of middle of the pack. But
yeah,
how do you feel about him?
I'd put him probably around a 3. I think he'll be on the roster, but will he be the guy? I don't know. I mean, it seemed like Drew Lock played okay as much as I, must. I'm not saying he's the answer, but I'm saying, like, if there's guys like Justin Fields available, just guys like that, I could see them going after. I could see them drafting a McCarthy, a Penix a little bit later. Not saying they would come right in and start, but kind of like the transition. So I do think Geno will be your quarterback to start the season. Will he last all 17 weeks? I don't know. I think that's why I got to put him down at a 3 because he had his highs, but he had some lows too last year.
And the lows were low.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Moss, here, I'm coming over to you now with Geno here. How do you feel about Geno?
Yeah, I mean, with the new coaching change, Pete Carroll being out, that would worry me as a Geno owner. I think maybe they do try, but honestly, the free agent quarterback market isn't that great. So,
no.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pretty much get one in the draft, and like you guys said, they're really, I don't think they're in position to really draft one other than like a second or third round guy.
They're not really in a position to win. So I think they're gonna just eat it this year and then
just keep him around because it's not like Geno's horrible. It's just where he was going ADP wise is what I didn't like.
And Drew Lock's contract is up.
It is.
Yeah. So I mean, whether he comes back or not,
he's getting a starting job somewhere. Muss is thinking.
Yeah.
So Geno now from a dynasty aspect. I mean, obviously we're all selling. I mean, if you can sell, but I mean, do you think it's possible maybe you could kick tires and get a mid to late second for a guy like Geno?
I don't know if I'd give him up for a mid to late second, to be honest, as
really?
a quarterback too. Yeah. I mean, mid I probably would, but I don't know about a late because like I said, you put him at a 3. It's not that you love the guy or he puts up great points, but as a quarterback 3, like quarterback 2, I don't know. I mean, if he does play all, like, he's going to be serviceable if a guy goes down. Look at all the injuries that happened this year.
Right.
I mean, that's probably how I feel about it. But
I think I'd try to move him for Howell straight up, just like one of those.
Yeah. He's a perfect one. I'd love to do that for.
Yep. I fear this
Fields. I mean, I don't think you could get that, of course, but like, I mean, I would definitely do that.
Who would you rather have, Derek Carr or Geno?
Derek Carr. I think this is it for Geno.
Yeah,
I think this is the last year.
Yeah. It probably is the last year.
How old is he?
He's like 33 or something.
He is 34.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll be 34 at least for the 24 season. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and Derek Carr does have that decently sized contract with the Saints. So
how about like a Kenny Pickett, Aaron Rodgers? Like
I would for both.
Yeah, you would for both. You take Geno for both?
No. I'd take either of them other than Geno.
I think I'd take Geno over Pickett.
Would you?
I can't.
I wouldn't.
Geno's like, dude, his value is like
It's bad.
It's yeah.
That's why I'm saying, like, I don't think you can really sell him.
If you're an absolute contender, yeah, I see your point. Yeah, I mean,
but the thing is too, like, if you hold on to these guys, like I seen Geno go for a first-round pick last year.
Yeah,
Holy
just
shit.
just because they had nobody. Like,
Wow.
Trevor Lawrence was hurt at one point. You know, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers. You know, you had just so many quarterbacks that were hurt, and they were just desperate.
He was like that in that one league.
Yeah.
Holy shit, the players
Well,
he was trading for.
Perfect Dynasty League. You were bad. Like, unfortunately, I traded. I mean, not unfortunate for me, but unfortunate for you.
Yeah.
I traded you Daniel Jones for a first, and then next week he goes out and gets hurt.
Yep.
And then, like, you know, it's just. But you won the league.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
So Ty can quit giving you shit about getting draft picks. He's giving them up for everybody.
Oh
Yeah,
my God. He was trading for Tyson Badge. And
I did.
like, oh my
Hey, I just
gosh.
needed somebody to fill the spot. I wanted to continue to win games.
You did win the Super Bowl.
He won the Super. That's all that matters. You're
Yep.
the Rams.
Yep. I put it all on a credit card.
Yeah.
Fuck those picks.
Yeah, must have a shirt and everything.
Well, you see, he finally spends draft picks and he wins the league.
I know.
Go
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah, when I'm in contention, I have no problem spending them.
Oh, yeah. I've seen you tear a whole damn team down just because you haven't won.
I can do that
Fight
too.
Club will be next. He has this unbelievable team, and he hasn't won. He hasn't made the playoffs, so I'm sure
Really?
he's going to tear it
Musk
down.
can
Yeah, your team was good.
Oh, his
Yeah.
team
I'm not
was
in it. I
really
just
good.
seen it.
Yeah.
Musk takes her down to the studs.
Yep.
But yeah, Geno Smith, he's someone that we have no confidence in. I mean, I think if you can get a good deal for him, you could reset the clock with another quarterback, or if you can get, a mid to high second, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
If you get that for him. But we're going to go over to the next guy here. This one kind of hits close to home with Ann, so we'll start with him. And this is your boy, Daniel Jones, up in Bluetown in New York with the Giants and Brian Daboll. How do you feel about Daniel Jones next year with the Giants scale 1 to 5, safe or not safe?
I think he's probably. I hate to put people at a 3 because I feel like it's a
I know.
cop out answer.
Yeah.
I want to put him at probably like probably a 4. I think he's honestly pretty safe. They gave him that deal. And you look at some of these mock drafts, which you never know. Like, they could trade up, but like, seems like they're a little bit too far out of contention for like one of these 3 quarterbacks at the top. And I'm seeing Malik Neighbors there a lot. I think that would be all right.
Yeah.
Run with Dunze there. That would be nice. Even if there was some way they can get Bowers on the team, they definitely need receiving help, man. I mean, you hate to give anybody cop out stuff, but like when you're rolling with like Darius Slayton, I don't even know if Waller has a hamstring anymore. I mean, he just kind of crawls around on the field.
They're horrible. Wandale Robinson.
Yeah, Wandale
Jalen
Robinson.
Hyatt.
Yeah, they're just not good. Now it's time to invest.
Yeah.
Go out and get yourself, if you can somehow get Neighbors or Dunze, and then go out, and even in the second round, could you get like hearing a lot of like Troy Franklin and stuff if he were to be in the second round, or the guy out of Texas, Mitchell, like he's a fast dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe that's where you kind of have a little bit of guys that do different stuff, and then maybe hit free agency and go out and get, don't have to be somebody huge, but somebody decent. And then maybe this will kind of help Daniel Jones. I guess I trust Daboll, and I think he's going to give him one more chance here.
Yeah.
I am a little bit worried about this injury because he's never been real great at throwing the ball, but he's somebody that's pretty athletic. So even if he is dropping the football on a run, or he needs to keep himself clean. Like, don't do so many turnovers, because that's always been a big thing with Daniel Jones, is the turnovers.
Oh, yeah.
So unfortunately, Tommy DeVito looked better than him at certain points, but he is on a contract. I think there's an out next year. So this could be kind of like Justin Fields territory, make or break. Like,
right.
If you come out and you're bad, we're going to move on. I could easily see them bringing in somebody half decent, though.
Yeah.
like behind him. I don't know who all's available, but
Putting on a little pressure.
yeah, putting a little pressure on him and kind of having, somebody in the back pocket, because there's rumors that Dable could be out. That'd be a mistake.
Yeah, that would
Absolutely.
That'd be
Yeah.
a big mistake. I mean, this guy kind of turned shit into a little bit of half gold. It might have been fake gold, but a little bit of something.
Right.
I mean, DeVito looked okay. The defense started playing a little bit better. Just unfortunately, like, they're using a lot of high capital on their line, and the line hasn't been good.
No.
So they need to. I don't know how to address it. I mean, when you're using, first round picks on, Andrew Thomas,
Evan Neal.
yeah, Evan Neal.
Evan Neal.
I mean, these were guys that seemed like they were pretty solid to be good in the NFL, and it's been bad. So
Yeah, 110%. But I like that answer. And Ty, how do you feel about Daniel Jones scale 1 to 5?
Honestly, I have him at a 5. Just like what you said, Andy, it's really a make or break season for him. I do think he's the quarterback there. I mean, they gave him a contract, a good enough contract to where they believe in the guy. So I think they're going to give him that one more shot. Hopefully it goes good for him, because I do like Daniel Jones, but I think he's definitely their quarterback for next year, especially in that draft if the top 3 picks are, Williams, May, and then Jaden Daniels, because there's just really no one else you can go with at number 6 there.
yeah,
So.
I was gonna say it being a number 6. I mean, they could even take a lineman if they, the wide receivers weren't there.
Yeah, the guy from Penn State, he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you say he declared?
Huh?
Or he's going back to school?
I don't think so.
I thought you told me on the feud he was.
Oh, maybe I did. I just seen on a mock draft he's supposed to
Oh.
go to
Joe
the-
Alt's there
Yeah.
from Notre Dame. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that
Yeah.
would be nice for them.
So, Muss, how do you feel about Danny Dimes?
Probably a 4. I'm gonna say that they know that they got to get this guy something. I mean, you can't. I mean, anybody can look at that team and say that he's got no receivers, he's got no line. Now, Tommy DeVito, I will agree, it has looked better, but I would like to. I mean, Danny Dimes has showed something.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
took them to the playoffs and
He
won
has.
a game.
He has. And I mean, he's done it with nothing. I mean, this year, I don't know really what exactly happened, that it was just like a complete 180. But like, I feel like if you can get this guy a weapon or two, maybe beef up, get some, linemen.
line help.
Yeah, get some weapons. Just get this guy's confidence back. Because I mean, when he was slinging it, like, I mean, we call him Danny Dimes for a reason. Like, he could drop dimes.
Yeah.
That just might be what it takes just to get this guy's confidence back.
Yeah.
Looking at his contract too, I mean, he's definitely my thing. Like, I know he's going to be on the team. I think it's just more of how much will they take if it's bad, because I was just looking, his dead cap, it's ridiculous. It's 69 million. There's no
Yeah.
way. Like,
Yeah.
so, like, I guess we'll clarify when we're saying this as being the starter, not necessarily,
Being on the team.
yeah, being on the team.
Yeah, I'm like you though. I think it's going to be a 4. I mean, he's going to get the opportunity this year, no doubt. Like you said, the main reason the contract, but hopefully they put the right pieces around him.
Yeah.
From a dynasty aspect, I mean, I don't think you could see any more value lower, than what Daniel Jones.
No. I mean, Musk got me on one. I traded Mac Jones.
Yeah.
For him, and it's not that I hate or love Mac Jones or hate Mac Jones. It's just his job, I think, is more
On the
like
line.
on the
Yeah.
line than somebody like Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I mean, who would you rather have, Daniel Jones or Will Levis?
Oh, Will Levis.
Yeah, Will Levis, I think, for me.
Me too, because I mean, maybe you could get that done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at least. I mean,
Yeah.
you might have to add a couple little things here and there, but maybe that could be a nice clock reset if you don't believe in Daniel Jones or you're worried.
I think I'd love to go out and try to acquire Daniel Jones today. Like, I mean, could you trade Geno? Again, same carousel. These a little bit older quarterbacks.
Derek Carr.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd much rather have Daniel Jones. Draft capital wise, I think it could be tough because I think people are going to at least want a second. And I'm not saying I wouldn't pay that. I mean, I think a second's perfectly fine to pay, but I think there's other avenues you can get them even cheaper.
Would you trade Kenny Pickett for him?
Oh, easily.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
maybe
easily.
you could do that.
I give Pickett in a second for him, to be honest.
Yeah.
We don't ever start with our high price.
Does he not feel though like people are gonna think I don't want to take a second, I want more, but like would you give up a first still?
I
You
know,
what
that's
I mean?
that's why when I
he's
made that
almost-
trade with you, I was like,
It's still okay.
it's okay, but like I knew a second wasn't going to get done, so it's like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yep.
So,
A lot of question marks in New York, but Daniel Jones, I'm like you. You get him cheap enough, I think it could be a good buy. I mean, trade some of these older guys, reset the clock. I mean, it ain't going to hurt. And he's, like we said, the contract, he's tied there. He's got this season at least for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Showed signs of life in week 2. Also, quarterback 1. So.
Yeah,
do we want to go over the free agent quarterbacks?
we can.
So I got a list here. It's Kirk Cousins, which I don't know. Is he on the list?
No.
Okay, so Kirk Cousins. And then after that, it gets Ryan Tannehill, Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, Drew Lock, Baker Mayfield,
Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew, and then the one that I think's interesting is Jake Browning.
Yeah.
Oh, quit
Jake-
with this Jake Browning.
Jake Browning's
shit.
interesting.
He's interesting to me.
Please, fellas,
He
quit with the
is.
Jake Browning stuff.
Ty
He's
hates Jake
interesting.
He's
Browning.
been getting me trades for Jake Browning, and he's starting to transition from Drew Lock to Jake Browning because he's starting to figure, well, maybe Drew Lock ain't in. Okay, Jake Browning, let's go. Come on, Jake.
I
mean, that-
think he's looked good.
Yeah, I think he's. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is.
Well, yeah, of course he's gonna look good. He's got to throw to Jamar Chase, T.
Trent
Higgins,
Irwin?
Tyler Boyd.
His number one target was like Trent Irwin. He
That's
hyper-
his problem, then.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, he didn't exactly hyper target Chase.
Moss, is there going to be a card collection of Jake Browning?
Yeah, there will
now?
be. There will be.
I'm just saying he's an intriguing.
I
option.
noticed you've been trying to get him. I traded you in a one quarterback because I have like Richardson. I have some pretty good guys, but yeah, Superflex I'm holding. I'm gonna see what happens.
But those are the courts. So I mean, like I said, the free agent
Not good.
Yeah, the free agent quarterback market. There's Kirk Cousins.
Well, Russell Wilson is available too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna cut
Oh,
Russell.
Yeah,
Baker.
which is crazy. They're
Baker's
gonna
in
owe
there.
him so
yeah,
much
and
money.
Baker.
Yeah.
But Baker's probably. I mean,
Denver's really going to eat some cash.
Yeah, they're gonna have to.
they're gonna probably roll with
Stidham.
Get him.
Stidham. Yeah,
Stiddy.
yeah. I think they are.
We'll move into the next guy here. It's a guy we all like. We're happy for Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We know he threw the interception to lose the game, but you know what? I don't care about that. He won the division with this team, had this team looking good all year. I mean, this offense looked pretty good. I'm going to start on this one with you, Muss. Baker, money maker, scale 1 to 5 with Tampa. Will he be back?
I think you got to put it at a 5. I mean, this free agent market's terrible. I don't see him starting over or getting benched for anybody else.
Not even Jake Browning.
Not even Jake Browning.
Sure, Moss.
Yeah.
Sure must.
They're obviously late picks, so they're not going to get a quarterback. So I mean, he's got that working for him, and then he's just done enough. I think he's, taking him to not the promised land, but he's done more than a serviceable job.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a 5 on Baker too. I think he's back. I mean, how could you not bring him back? Tampa, and like I said, Tampa's equipped. You might as well try to win the division a couple more years. This division's so bad that if you got the roster you have now, you might as well go for it. You never know what'll happen. So, I mean, might as well see what we have. I mean, how do you feel about Baker, Ann?
5.
5.
Very easily. Yeah. I mean, like I said, everybody counted Tampa Bay out. Look what they've done.
Yep.
Now, I will say, is it a little bit of a high point for Baker too, right? Because Mike Evans could be gone.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin's still good, but Palmer's okay. This is his rookie year. He did okay, but
Mike Evans is his man.
Mike Evans is his man. So, I mean, this could be a high point for Baker, but I do think he's going to be signed here.
And I think that's a good point on your part. That's something to watch with Mike Evans. I mean, you might be a little uneasy if he does leave because that's the straw that stirred Baker's drink.
Yeah,
was Mike Evans. I mean, no doubt about it. Ty, how do you feel about Baker?
Yeah, just like you guys, 5. Especially after beat the Eagles, they already solidified that spot after it beat the Eagles, and I mean, hey, they were one possession away from getting the NFC Championship game. So yeah. So I absolutely a 5.
Dynasty perspective, late first, Baker.
I think, I mean, definitely yes. I'm just like Baker's one of them guys. Like I really do like. What would I have to pay for Jared Goff or somebody? I just feel like I don't know. Goff's in a better situation.
You might not have to give up too much more.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
Yeah, like Baker's kind of in that weird position. If you have him, you're definitely you're pretty much holding.
Yeah,
he's definitely easily worth a late first.
Yeah, his value. I mean,
and if I absolutely needed somebody, if if Goff and certain other guys, like, the owners wanted no part, I would definitely pay the first, like, if I needed a number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Heck yeah, man. I mean, it's just it's nice to see what he did with Tampa. I'm happy for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And like I said, you got to be happy for Tampa because they got all the pieces in place there. Hopefully they can keep Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Like I said, you might as well go for it for a couple years. I mean, you got a chance with this division the way it is. But we're going to go over to the next guy here, and we're going to start with Ty on this one. Ty, hometown boy, Kenny Pickett. Scale 1 to 5 next year. Safe or not safe? How do you feel?
5. Yeah, he'll be the guy. I think obviously all the guys in the front office will make sure because people will be getting in trouble if he does suck, which he does suck. But they got to give him one more chance. I mean, he does win football games. He's not any good because he's just a game manager. I mean, he just really isn't. He's just checking it down a lot. So he's just not taking no shots down the field. But realistically, though, he is a first-round pick. You can't give up on him just yet. You got to give him at least one more year. If he comes out next year and sucks, which he probably will, then that project's over. But I think the Steelers do know that obviously Mason Rudolph's not the future. He did come in and play really well, but he's just a backup in this league. And, I mean, they drafted Pickett to be the franchise guy, and they're going to give him one more year to see if he can do it or not. So,
Yeah. What do you think, Ian?
1. I'm on the opposite spectrum.
really?
Whenever they put Mason Rudolph in, whenever he was healthy, that's all I needed to see. And I'm not saying it. They almost had to, but I think they'll be in heavy contention to go out. I could see like Jake Browning going there. I could see them trying to sign him to a smaller deal. I could see, Justin Fields going there.
Tomlin already said that the starters on the roster is what he said.
Tomlin says everything.
Yeah, Tomlin says a lot of
I
shit.
know, but
Tomlin's
And
not
that has
the one
it's
signing the guy
GM.
either.
he has a crush on Pickett anyhow.
Yeah.
He loves him.
Yeah, I'm more with Andy. I think it's a 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, fellas. I think he's going to be our quarterback next year.
And then to even start all the games, like I said,
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I think I don't think he was horrible at first either. Honestly, I think he was ruined.
Yeah, I'm probably about like a 4. I'm with Ty. It's not that I don't think that he's not good. I think he sucks. But the thing is, Tomlin loves him, and whatever Tomlin wants with the Steelers, Tomlin gets. I mean, it might get to a point where you get halfway through the season or something where he starts to digress, and they have to pull him out at that point. But I think to start the season, he's pretty safe, man. I mean, he's going to be the guy. I don't see them making a splashy trade because the Steelers don't do that shit.
No.
I mean, I just see them, like you said, I could see them bringing in like a Browning or somebody like that to put a little heat on him. But Tomlin loves this guy. I mean, Tomlin's average, his quarterback's below average. I mean, it's just a shit show. It's all that it is, man. I mean, but I will say this, as far as having him, I mean, at least you're probably going to have a starting quarterback. As bad as it is, I mean, you might get 6 points, but it's kind of like what we talk about. Play a different player in that flex position if you have to.
Oh, I would. Yeah. Kenny, I had him on one team, and boy, it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it was bad.
You could take Ty Chandler and put him in, and he'd get more points.
Yeah.
That's bad.
It's just a crying shame, man. It really is.
I think whenever you look at like what he's done so far in the NFL and how bad it's been, I just don't know if Omar Khan will let it happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because then his job becomes to be put on the line.
I seen a thing. I don't know how true it is. There was reports coming out that, like, Tomlin wanted Pickett for, like, as soon as he come back, he wanted to bench Rudolph to put Pickett back in, but they said he couldn't do that because he got ripped apart.
Oh yeah,
but that's how much he likes Pickett.
Well, and that's why Rudolph's going to go out the door, because they said basically that way that Pickett, and then Pickett's a little baby. He didn't talk to the media after, and I mean, I don't know. They're coddling him.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
I probably wouldn't have talked to the media either. Like, what are you going to say? Yeah, I got benched.
That suck.
Yeah, I suck.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will. It will. But like I said, for his dynasty value, I would take any quarterback that I could get. I mean, I would
any quarterback on a 32.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Like any starting quarterback.
And I would even take some guys that aren't on the 30. Like I said, I think I would trade them. Like, I think you get Browning plus, and I would just do it. Like, that's how out I am.
Ty,
I'm
how
just
about
not-
all this Jake Browning talk?
I'm not a Browning guy.
The
I would
dude wins
take-
games.
Huh?
The dude wins games.
Kenny Pickett wins games.
No.
Yes, he does. Is Kenny Pickett any good? No.
I think Browning's a lot better than Pickett.
Me too.
Well, and I would say this, Mac Jones is someone I'd look at. Bailey Zappi. I mean, I would probably take either of them over Kenny
I'd
Pickett.
take Mac. Bailey. I just.
How you get a plus though, Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked good for New England down the stretch too. I mean, he didn't look for any worse for wears at times.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. There's just some guys that I would prefer, and you maybe can get a little plus on top of it. Maybe.
Yeah.
So
possibly.
but as far as I'm like, and we're split at the table here, I just feel like with the Steelers, if Tomlin wants it, Tomlin gets it.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think that's what it's going to come down to. But as far as 2025, I think that experiment will well be over.
Yeah.
Thank God. We're going to go over to the next quarterback here, though. It's a little bit bigger fish in this pond. This one's a little interesting because we did not pick up a fifth-year option yet, and it's Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback, Miami Dolphins. And I'm going to start with you on this one, man. This is a little bit, he's played well for the Dolphins, but the fans are kind of getting on him a little bit. I know the ownership's a little antsy down there. How do you feel in the injuries, of course?
I'd 5. He'll be there this year. I mean, I think after this year, it becomes a little bit concerning if they don't give him a deal. But I honestly feel like with Tua, his deal might not be a 4 or 5 year deal. It might be like a 2-year deal.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I think he's at a 5 for sure for me.
Yeah, for this season for sure.
Yeah.
It is going to get hairy, though, if they don't perform.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely will. I mean, that's why Tua becomes a bit of a sell. Now, if you look on KTC, he's like quarterback 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Can't really sell him at that price. I'll just ride out the production. Like I said, you go back that episode and listen, some of the stats whenever he's in the cold and stuff like that we have. He's one of them guys that comes out and starts really hot. Every year he starts really hot. And I think that's the time you want to move him.
Yeah.
Whenever he throws a 40 fantasy point game, move on from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. How you feel about Tua, Muss?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's a 5, but I'm with Andy. It's like, when do you want your quarterback to play?
Yeah.
In your fantasy playoffs? What is it?
Never does.
What is it normally in the month of the fantasy playoffs?
Cold.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm 100% with Andy. I think the Dolphins keep him, but I think he's a major sell until they figure something out, and I don't think they will.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely hairy with Tua. Ty, how do you feel?
Oh, 5 for sure. They're definitely going to bring him back, but I'm not a Tua guy. I think he's massively overrated. I just don't think he's that great, but I think he is the man for the job for Miami. Again, I agree with Andy, probably about like a 2-year deal he's going to receive, just kind of see what he can do. He only got 2 more years, and for me, he's a sell also. Again, I'm the same way. I mean, I'd wait for him to come out and throw a huge game and just get rid of him. You better get rid of him for Tyreek is out the door.
Yeah.
Because then the value is going to fall right out of him.
Yeah.
And I like what you said, massively overrated. To me, he's a really good quarterback too, but everyone perceives him as a quarterback 1.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, with Tyreek Hill, that is a little bit of a question mark, but I say 5 for this year too, no doubt. But it is, and with his injury history too, he doesn't have the cleanest bill of health. I mean, that's another thing to think about. And honestly, I'm looking at Tua, and it's going to be tougher, but could I get up into the Brock Purdy, Jordan Love tier? Could I make a trade happen? Yeah, sure. You might have to give up a little bit of this or that, but maybe I feel better about that.
Oh, way better.
So maybe try to do something like that with Tua. We'll see what happens. I mean, you guys feel comfortable making a move like that with him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just depends how much plus.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have moved him straight up. That's not happening anymore.
No.
Sucks, but it's not.
It's kind of like Trevor Lawrence, a little bit deflating,
And bringing up Trevor Lawrence, I would rather have Trevor Lawrence personally.
Oh, me
than
too.
I
Tua.
would think I would too.
I don't know if that's a deal you could get done, but
I was going to say that.
yeah,
I
I'd
agree.
rather try that.
I
So,
agree.
if you have Tua and Jimmy's in your league, hit him up.
Yeah.
Probably give you your whole roster.
Yeah, the all Jimmy team too at quarterback, Trey McBride at tight end.
Yeah.
Oh,
he runs
Jesus.
he runs a 2 tight end set. He's got Laporta and McBride out there.
Drake London's the receiver he likes. Too.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's big on Drake London now. He planted that
boy.
flag last night.
Yeah. But we're going to move into the next guy. Muss brought him up. I want to touch on him because it is curious. I think we're going to talk about him. Kirk Cousins. We got enough time. We know the Minnesota contract's up. I mean, from all reports, it seems like he wants to say they want him to have like another 1 year, 2 year reunion there. How do you guys feel about Kirk Cousins in Minnesota? Moss, I'll start with you on this one.
I think that one's a 4. Like, I'm not 100% that he's gonna stay, but I would say 80%. Like, it seems like he wants to stay. He says he's not gonna really take much money.
Yep.
I mean, when they have Justin Jefferson, maybe they're really not in a position to make a run. So, I mean, maybe they do turn the page, but I think they got to keep him, or else the fans might riot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all had Kirk Cousins T-shirts on. The players, you know how much they love him. Ty, how do you feel about Captain Kirk?
5. I think like guys like Jefferson will make sure he gets back. Jefferson loves Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins just even like what Musk just said. I mean, I think he's going to take a big discount to stay. He said he has enough money now. He just wants to stay in Minnesota and play with them guys. And I mean, they're picking number 11 right now. They're probably not going to be there to be able to get a quarterback. Maybe they can get a guy down the draft like a Penix or something, just to back him up and maybe give him an option down the road.
I like that.
But Cousins is their guy.
Yeah.
So
that would be nice for Penix. I think I'd like that with Kevin O'Connell and, the weapons they have there. That's kind of a good thinking there, Ty, someone like that. But how do you feel about Kirk coming back to Minnie?
Probably 4.5. Like, it's all but certain until they do it.
Right.
I think he wants to be there, and they want him there.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried the Josh Dobbs experience. They tried the Mullins experience, and I mean
the Nick Mullins experience.
Yeah. Which I don't understand. I thought Dobbs looked good at times, and honestly, Mullins can throw it. He might throw 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, but he'll throw it.
He's reckless. He's reckless. He's a Jameis Winston type.
Yeah, that's a perfect backup.
He would run the ball when he's supposed to knee it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you watch that quarterback show too, it just seems like Kirk and Kevin O'Connell are like best of friends. Them guys are really good.
They're
really
close.
good friends. Yeah. So I think he'll be another one in the lobby to bring him back.
And sometimes that's the stuff that it's hard to figure out because you don't see it. Like, I think another quarterback, like I want to talk real quick, Dak Prescott, like how safe is he? Should be back there again.
Right.
But you got a lot of people really like, oh, Trey Lance. I think you're going to be really disappointed if you went Trey Lance.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he got outplayed by Brock Purdy, who's played very good, but like this is an offense fit Trey Lance to a T. And they didn't want him. They basically gave him away.
That's it. When Kyle Shanahan basically gives you away.
And he brings in a guy like Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
that's worrisome.
Yeah.
And I agree with that, and that's a really good point. And I mean, as far as Kirk goes, I'm a 5 too. He's back there, man. And for his value, what do you guys still think? Late first for Kirk?
I don't know if you'd have to pay that. And I mean, if I was in complete contention, like looks like I'm gonna win, I'm okay with it.
Right.
But I think I don't know if you have to pay that. He's another one though. It's almost player for player. Mm-hmm. Like, because we sit here and say like I'd rather have Sam Howell, and I still would. I think I'd rather have Sam Howell than Kirk. So I don't think I'm at a late first with him.
It's just Aaron. I went back to the Aaron Rodgers rule from last year. It seemed like a lot of people were paying a late first for Aaron.
Look what happened.
Yeah, and so I mean, you're playing with fire.
Yeah,
that's the thing that you got to understand with these older quarterbacks.
Yeah, and you know what people will say? Well, look at the weapons he has.
Yeah,
I can't give that up. Yeah, they got Addison, Hawkins, and Jefferson. Yeah.
Which Hodgson's going to be out probably most of the season.
Yeah, pretty much till after week 10.
Yeah, do they? I mean, I think that's another reason. Like, it seems like he should be there, but it almost looks like they want to go into some kind of a bit of a rebuild. I don't know. It's tough.
They almost should, but I mean, I know it's tough.
Yeah. They're kind of. I think I'd still bring around Kirk because you want to make Jefferson happy too.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Jefferson's looking to be the highest paid receiver ever. So
if you want to make him that, you better keep Kirk.
Yeah,
and I think down the list they look at like a Penix or a McCarthy or something. Just try to get an option. I think like you said, Penix. Even McCarthy would be okay there. I feel like because he's. I don't know. I guess he's more of a check down, but Addison and Jefferson can both take a slant the whole way. Or a curl. Like they're just that good.
Yeah, they're hell of receivers, no doubt about it. Last guy I want to touch on, though, Mac Jones. We know the Bailey Zappi experiment, but that was a little bit more of a Bill Belichick thing. We know Mac Jones got the capital. I mean, there could be a possibility New England gets like a Jaden Daniels type of guy. I
Yeah.
mean, do they go that route? I'll start with you on this one, Ann. How do you feel about Mac Jones scale 1 to 5?
Probably like a 1. I think he'll probably be gone.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's all his fault. I mean, I think, who was it, Ty? Was it you that put like Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones's numbers together and they were
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
and like the completion percentages
Yes.
and everything?
Yeah. Yes.
We're
Yep.
very close. So like, I'm not out on Mac Jones. I do think he could probably get a chance somewhere else. I don't think it's going to be in New England though. I think if there's a way that Jaden Daniels is there, they're at 3, I believe.
Yep.
I think they'll go that. And if there's a way that Drake May's there, I think they'll go that route. New coach. I think Robert Kraft's just ready for a whole new start.
It would be nice to see Mac Jones end up somewhere like in Atlanta.
Yeah, he could be.
You know, just maybe just to see he's got weapons there, you know.
If he's super cheap, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes to San Francisco and sits behind Purdy. Now, I'm not saying whoever gets the chance, but if Purdy were to get hurt, I believe that's the pick they're going to go, and the media just scared them out of it.
Yeah, I think so too.
And can you, because he's a lot like Brock Purdy. Like, he's a field general. He sees the field, kind of relies on talent around him, doesn't have any talent around him. I mean, 28-year-old Zeke, who's looked okay. I mean, who's his best receiver? A guy from Liberty that's 5'5".
Yeah.
Demario Douglas.
I mean, Seattle could be interesting for Mac Jones too. I mean, with the weapons they have, you know, I mean, I'd just like to see him, like you said, somewhere where he would actually have some weapons, maybe an offensive line.
Yeah.
Just to see.
What if he even went behind Aaron Rodgers with the Jets? Like, they tried this with Zach Wilson. Obviously, Zach Wilson's just hot garbage. Like, he's bad.
Yeah.
Maybe this would be, you know, a chance for him to sit behind somebody and learn some more.
Did Jordan Love a world of good?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no
Maybe.
doubt. Moss, how do you feel about Mac Attack?
Yeah, I'm about at a 1. I mean, when they're just benching him every game for Bailey Zappi.
Bailey Zappi's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the writing on the wall. I think he's out. But, I mean, I agree. I always said that I don't think he got a fair shake.
No.
I mean, you drafted him to a team with no weapons.
And then in the second round, you're taking Tyquan Thornton.
Yeah.
And saying that he reminds him of Randy Moss. Like, I love Bill, but he's not a GM.
Yeah, you like head coach Bill. You don't like GM Bill.
Yeah. It's two sides of that face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with that. How do you feel about Mac Jones, New England tie 1 to 5?
Yeah, it's a 1. It's pretty much like a messy breakup. It's just not. It's just not working out. And I could definitely not see him in Atlanta too, especially if Bill takes the reins.
Oh, I know.
It would be nice. I'm at a 1 too. Like I said, Atlanta will be good. Maybe sit Minnesota behind Kirk Cousins. Maybe in Seattle.
Yeah.
Like you said, San Francisco. Anywhere where he can maybe just get his feet under him, play in a better system with a better group of weapons and a good offensive line.
Right.
I'd like to see what he could do.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you were to try to acquire him cheap, how cheap do you think you could get him right now?
Get him for like a third.
I think I would do that.
I think I would too.
I mean, we know that you know.
I love to go after guys like
yeah.
Like,
You know what the only thing that's tough about that is? You send these offers like for a third. All these owners are like, okay. And then they start thinking like
they got to be like put in pieces.
You have to package them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be
What
sneaky.
do you know that I don't know?
Exactly. Because
You
they're
do.
like
You're right.
why do you want Mac Jones?
Yeah.
Like I run because I mean I'm
Yeah.
like, why do you want Mac Jones? Like, oh, maybe he could go somewhere and start.
Yeah.
No, I'm not getting rid of him for a third.
Right.
That's exactly
You're
it.
right. You
Yeah.
got to be creative.
You
gotta
do.
Think a while.
You
You got to
do.
think a little different.
Yeah, I like that. But I got to ask you this, Mus. Would you trade Jake Browning for him?
Oh, he
Oh.
would.
Oh man.
I think
He wouldn't he wouldn't trade Jake Browning. He'd acquire him.
I
He likes
think-
backup quarterbacks.
I think I'd rather go Jake Browning.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
What are you guys on with this
God,
fucking
he's
guy?
looked
Have you
okay.
watched him?
What has he done that's been so impressive?
Just watch him. He's actually not
Boy,
bad.
I watched him against the Steelers. He had a hell of a game. I'll tell you.
Okay, I'm just saying. When he's a starting quarterback
Oh,
next year.
I think there's a good
gosh.
chance he is.
Yeah.
I think that'll be something on the Fantasy Feud next week. A topic with Jake Browning, just to get Ty really going.
Well, I don't understand it. I just don't get it. I don't know.
He'll be saying that after the show. I just don't understand it much.
I'm telling you, just go back and watch some of us. I think he actually looked like a comfortable quarterback. Like, I was like, who the hell is Jake Browning? And then it's like, he starts making these throws.
I know. That's why I acquired him in every league.
I
was
did.
like, give him a chance.
Yeah.
And then I traded in one league, in a super flex league, I traded a 6th round pick for him. I mean, we had 6 round picks.
Yeah. I'll tell you. I think you're just checking out his girlfriend up in the press box. Yeah, you're a big fan.
I hope she comes to Pittsburgh.
But that's the thing. Look at these numbers. Okay. Against Baltimore, week 11, quarterback 23, Pittsburgh, quarterback 18, and quarterback 4, quarterback 4, quarterback 8, 21, 8, 9. He's a quarterback 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of his 7 weeks.
Terrible quarterback, Ty.
Or 8 weeks, I'm sorry.
Well, Daniel Jones is a quarterback 1 week. Gardner Minshew is up there a couple different times.
Quarterback 26. He didn't play till week 11.
Holy shit. How about that?
Yeah, top 32.
I'm going to get you a jersey, Mus.
I'm telling you.
He's going to take Jake Brown. He's going to take you to the promised land.
Sign Jake Browning jersey.
Yep.
I just had to bring that up at the end. I knew that would get Ty and Muscles going.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. It will be, man.
He's somebody I really like.
And I'm glad we brought up a lot of these guys because this is important. Superflex leagues, we need to know what's going on with these positions. And two, if you have some of these guys, you got to recognize, like we said with Sam Howell in Washington, there's a possibility there's a quarterback coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, with Chicago with Justin Fields, I mean, it's looking like there's a great chance there's probably a breakup there. We're not saying he's not going to get a job somewhere because he probably is, but what happens? You know, there's a lot of question marks.
Then Denver, do we think Stidham's possibly the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a possibility too.
Yep.
That could be another Jake Browning landing.
Yeah. No, they don't need him. They got Javonte Williams. He's going to take him the whole way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they can ride Javonte the whole way.
Yeah, the whole team will jump on his back and say, break tackle, Javonte, go, go,
the
go.
shit pot a little bit.
No, they don't need a quarterback.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. It's a lot of fun talking these quarterbacks. Like I said, it is important. We got a lot of great stuff coming down the pipe, though. Make sure you tune into Fantasy Feud. We just released that today. So that's out. And then we got Dynasty DNA Plus coming again. It's going to be either late this week or early next week. We're going to have our special guest on, Ryan Miner from the Fantasy Football Face-Off. Really nice guy. Excited to talk to him. And, too, with the main Dynasty DNA show, we're going to be talking a lot of rookie stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Real shortly. Next week's episode, running back film evaluation session 1.
Yep.
So we're going to be looking into these guys for the first time, watching the film. I'm really excited about it. We're going to be breaking them down, and that's what Dynasty's all about, getting ahead on these rookies and trying to see where the value's at in these drafts. But, too, guys, make sure you check out the Double Coverage DFS show with Sterling and Big E. They're going right up to the Super Bowl, so they're going to be doing a conference championship special next week, so they're going to be covering that. So they're going to be with you from a DFS perspective, from an NFL perspective, right up until the Super Bowl. So you got to check that out. So there's all kinds of great stuff going on at Dynasty DNA. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at DynastyDNA_. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Pod, Stitcher, Google, Amazon. We're on all the big ones. The DNA Strand crew, you guys are the best. We appreciate the support more than you know. If you leave a 5-star review and follow, if you enjoy the content, that means the world to us. We just, we love doing it, man. And when we see that, it really makes us happy because we know you're enjoying it. That's what it's all about. And make sure you check us out on YouTube now. YouTube videos coming up daily. That's Dynasty DNA over on YouTube. You could subscribe over there. If you want to follow along and watch us on camera, you can do that as well. But this is going to do it for this episode. We hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And if your teams are in the conference championship game, we wish you luck there. Hope you enjoy the playoffs. And we will see you guys on the next episode of Dynasty DNA.
See you guys.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Dynasty DNA Fantasy Football Podcast. Become a part of the DNA Strand crew today over on Discord, and be sure to check out the website dynastydna.net for all important fantasy football information. And follow us on Twitter at DynastyDNA_.